Okay, so let's talk unschooling. So what is unschooling? Unschooling is more like you're focusing on real life experiences and intrinsic motivation in order to do stuff, as opposed to a rigid homeschool or a rigid curriculum textbook based approach. So how do I compensate for that? Because say you live in a state where, so many requirements have to be met and have to be done. There's a couple ways you can do it. You can do reverse planning, where you follow them around and talk to them and be like, okay, what'd you learn today? And write it all down and keep track of it and come up with activities based on that and strew pieces of information all over the house, which seems very stressful to me. So alternatively, what you can do is pick out a bunch of books, and those are the books you cover this year. So watch this. So let me go into that and explain more about that, how you can use curriculum, but in an unschooling approach with a homeschool friendly curriculum. Okay, let me tell you what I think the best homeschool curriculum for the unschooling approach is. So for that is just to pick out books on topics that you think should be covered. I'll give you a bunch of examples of what I cover, but I cover it during like breakfast, lunch, and snack time. So for example, basically, anytime we're eating, I'm really reading to them, but I'm reading specific stuff that I have picked out. Of course, we read a bunch of fun stuff too, whatever, like no big deal. And I'm not saying my kids don't use tablets. Of course they do. And you can learn through tablets as well. So you can learn through videos as well. So, but what I'm specific in is that, and my kids learn a lot, is they have a lot of free time, like tons and tons of free time, but we cover during breakfast and lunch and snack time is we cover very specific things. So either I've chosen a video on a specific topic or I'm reading books on specific topics. And like I said, here's a list of a bunch of different books and a bunch of different ideas as to what you can learn on. So it doesn't take long, and and we cover a ton of stuff, and my kids know a lot, and I'm meeting the compliance of a lot of things, but it's a very relaxed atmosphere of us just learning together. And the difference is that between that and a regular curriculum, one of the differences is that there's no handwriting involved. So the questions we give are just oral, and it's fun. It's kind of like, just my kids like to learn stuff. I mean, who doesn't like to learn stuff? So sometimes it's got to be in the area of interest of your child. But instead of handwriting all these worksheets, I don't do things with a lot of worksheets. And if it does, like when you look at the Grammar and Punctuation by Evan Moore, when I cover that, it's got a lot of, okay, is this a sentence? Is this not a sentence? Is this a sentence? We'll just do that orally while we're having a snack. I'll be like, okay, is this a sentence? Yes or no? Like based on these requirements, is this a sentence? Yes or no? So it's not that stressful. It's not that school-based. It's like very relaxed. Like we're just hanging out. We got, time on our hands. So why not learn something? Why not challenge ourselves kind of thing versus sit down and, okay, you got to do a page of this a day. You got to do a page of that today. You got to do a page of this a day and a page of that. Now, that's not to say I don't do that. I do a page of, okay, you have to read me one story today. So I have books that based on their reading level that they can choose to read to me. But if they want to choose a different book, if they want to go out, because a lot of times my youngest will be like, I'm going to read this book to you, and he'll sit down and read this book to me that he likes, that he chose. That's fine to me, as long as he's getting that reading practice in. And there's not a certain time. I'm not like, okay, 20 minutes needs to be spent reading. No, because reading, it's supposed to be, for the most part, enjoyable. However, one of their tasks to do that day is to write that and then do a bit of copy work so they are working on hand skills. Those are things that I have just personally chosen to have them do. You, of course, don't have to do them. But I'm telling you that the amount of curriculum we cover and the amount of stuff they cover and amount of stuff they know for a very relaxed environment, and the difference is that we don't do worksheets. It's not that we don't do them, but there's not a lot of handwriting involved. I also don't choose curriculums with a ton of experiments or writing and journaling about the experiments or anything like that. But I do, so we'll go through the Grammar and Punctuation. We'll go through that book, and then in a couple weeks, I might pick it up again during another snack time. Like it's in my bin of books that I want to cover for this year. And I'll pick it up again. And I have science textbooks that I might pick up again just to go through and review those things again. Or we might do it next year so that we get these basic rules down or basic fundamental done. Or I might do it every Friday, be like, okay, it's lunchtime here. Let's just quickly go through this book. All right, what do animals provide plants? And animals, in case you're wondering, and people provide carbon dioxide, which the plant needs, oddly, and the plant in turn provides us oxygen. So these are some things that I'd like them to know. But there's a lot of stuff in homeschool curriculums and in curriculums in general, which is a waste of time, which is just busy work, which is not necessarily needed to make a successful child. So that's just how I cover a lot, and that is how I unschool using a homeschool curriculum. The best homeschool curriculum for an unschooling approach, I guess you could say. I hope that helps. I hope that gives you some ideas. So take a look at these books in this short that I produced a while ago, and just to get some ideas of some books that you can use. Okay, bye-bye. These are all the curriculum books that I want to cover this year in my homeschool.